What's going on, Leo? How are you doing? Hope you're doing super well. This is the Autistic Mystic, and this is your reading for April 15th to the 30th, 2024. So in this reading, Leo, we're going to take a look at your overall general energy, some things you do not see coming, and also get some advice from your angels and spirit guides, and so much more for you regarding April 15th to the 30th, 2024. So I really hope all of you have been doing super well. And I'm excited to pull the energy for you in this reading. So let's go ahead and see what is coming your way for this period, Leo. As always, I would like to thank the angels, the interdimensional beings, and the spirit guides who are overseeing this act of divination for the sign of Leo. All right, Leo. So really interesting that you have, really interesting energy that you have going on here for sure. For many of you, there will be the potential of there being a quite a nasty ending, or an ending that has been overdue because of the lack of give and take in one of your relationships. I feel this could have to do with a sibling, a family member, a neighbor, for some of you, a coworker. There's definitely something here about restoring balance and to get it upgrade. But before we get into the tarot, let's go ahead and start this reading off with some pre-shuffled oracle cards from the universe. And these oracle cards contain the theme that Spirit wants to bring to your attention for the 15th to the 30th of April. So let me show you them in successive order, and then we'll talk about it. You have Gemini energy, the communicator. You have the third house of communication and interaction, which is ruled by Gemini. And then you have Virgo, which is the alchemist energy, which really rules service and perfectionism and cleanliness and daily routine. The one commonality here is that all of these cards have something to do with the planet of Mercury, which has to do with the way that you speak, think, move, and write. It has to do with your communication to other people. But the third house has to do with, like I said, neighbors, siblings, and it has to do with the energy that you experience on a daily basis. Mercury is like the transport, that you go to your work. It's like getting in your car, driving to your work, or it's like the experience you have walking down the street, getting your morning coffee. It's just like the neighborhood. It's like the interaction here. So the overall theme for you, I feel like, is to clean up your third house interactions of communication here. For many of you, there's going to be something that you can really serve the world with in terms of you writing or speaking in some sort of way. There's a real opportunity for open communication here, but there may be something that you need to say to put something right in order to establish a boundary with someone who may have been mistreating you. And it may not be easy for you to do at all. It may feel like you're surrendering a relationship and you don't know what comes next for some of you. So let me just get into the tarot and show you why I'm saying what I'm saying. Your opportunity for the 15th to the 30th is the 8 of Wands, which has to do with speed, open communication, and travel here. So this is your opportunity, is to be a great communicator. I really feel like there's an important conversation that's going to be happening. For some of you, this could have already happened that led to an ending in your life here. And I'm getting like a hustler energy as well. It's like for many of you, you may not be viewing the opportunities around you in the correct light. For some of you, it's like getting out into the world and really seeing what's there, interacting with people, you know what I mean, in some sort of way. There could be like a gold mine that you're missing in some sort of way. So I would say communication is the way of it. Say what you need to say to people. Strike up conversations more than usual, because you might be surprised where it leads you, is what I would say here. I know that sounds very general, but we're going to get into it as we get into this reading, okay? But this is obviously, communication is what it's about. I do feel for some of you Leos, this has to do with one of your siblings. If you have siblings, I feel there's a lack of balance there. I don't know why I'm getting that. For some of you, it's there. Your challenge is the Fool, which has to do with spiritual innocence, a new fresh start to the soul. Some of you are going to be dealing with a fool that leads to an ending here. You know, the fool in your challenge can literally represent someone who is a fool, or this can represent, for some of you, a new beginning that's very challenging for you to move into as a result of an ending. But for many of you, you want to be careful that this is not your own foolishness in a negative way, because it is your challenge. I just have to say, a fool is someone who has generally the wrong set of priorities in life. A fool is someone in a negative sense that, you know, makes a big thing out of the little things, that they get all worked up about things that don't even matter, and they kind of ignore the bigger priorities that would actually help them transform in the way that they would want to. So for many of you, you are dealing with a fool, that you are being tested to surrender the relationship with a fool. You know, this could be someone that you want to convince of something. This could be someone, Leo, that I'm sensing that you have tried many, many times to, like, hey, just, you know, like, see it this way, or like something like that. It may be time to let it go. But for most of you, this is actually a challenge for you to have spiritual innocence and walk into a completely fresh phase of your soul here. But it may have to do with remaining, for some of you, I'm sensing that this has to do with remaining pure after what can be I'm perceiving as a nasty ending. It could have to do with your work as well. So let's get into it. Your overall general energy here, Leo, very interesting. First of all, you have the 10 of Swords in reverse. And I'm recording this on the 16th of April, and this reading is from the 15th to the 30th. So for some of you, there could have been a nasty ending that has already happened. For some of you, it will happen very soon. You have the 6 of Pentacles, which has to do with work, but it also has to do with even, give, and exchange. It has to do with giving and receiving. And it could have to do something on the financial level or the earth level, sharing. You know, it's like the idea of sharing. And then you have the World card here, which is all about an upgrade. And it's about the Fool going through its full journey and then receiving a reward at the end for the journey that you've been on. So I do feel like there's a major upgrade that will lead to more balance for you, but not first after a major ending. This could have to do with a blow up in communication where someone is overly critical, because the theme that you have here, Leo, is Gemini, the 3rd house, and Virgo. And Virgo, I always think of as like the Simon Cowell frequency of like, you suck at singing. No. You know, Virgo can be like that emotionless, androgynous, like, no. And it's like, so there could be something going on with you doing that, being critical, you know, because Virgo's the critic, the skeptic. So there could be someone who is very skeptical of you at this time, but you know that you have a good intention, so you're going to end the relationship. Vice versa, there could be something for many of you about you being very skeptical with someone, or someone who's just not putting in the work that you're going to have to cut ties with, is really what I feel. The 10 of Swords in reverse, I don't read that as a new beginning. You know, I do base it on my intuition every time. Sometimes I see the 10 of Swords in reverse as like the opposite of the 10 of Swords, so it's like an ending that can be good. My intuition tells me this time that it's some sort of ending that can be final in a negative way. It could be something that it could be hard for you to actually do. It can be hard for you to actually accept the 10 of Swords in reverse, you know, because the 10 of Swords upright, it's like, it's dead, it's done, it's in the water, no one's even alive. In reverse, it could be like, you know, I'm just getting a weird image of like you chop a chicken's head off and the body is still running around. So there could be like some sort of momentum that is hard for you to deal with. But here we go, in like what you don't see coming here, there's definitely a major realization that you're going to have to go into the unknown and trust your intuition above all else at this time, and say what you need to say. There could be some sort of thing that you need to express your emotions to someone and let the chips fall where they may. I don't know. Look at this energy though. You have the Judge. You have 3 major arcana cards, which has to do with a very spiritual thing happening. It doesn't necessarily have to do with anything practical. So in what you don't see coming, Leo, the Judgment card is a major shift in consciousness. It's like you hearing the angel bells, like, oh my God, I'm awake to this finally. The Moon has to do with feminine energy and mystery and the unknown, your intuition. And and your subconscious part of yourself. And the Hanged Man has to do with seeing something from a different perspective, surrendering, or a temporary moment of enlightenment. The Judgment card and the Hanged Man are very similar in that they have to do with a complete shift in your consciousness. And with the Fool being in your challenge, it doesn't surprise me here. You know, the Moon also has to do with illusions. And with the Judgment card and the Hanged Man surrounding the Moon, I do feel like there's an illusion that you may be completely like having to like talk about the fact that it's an illusion. There could be someone who tells you that they treat you fairly, or that there is balance when there's really not. Leo, we shared this our whole life. Or Leo, you know, I pay you this because that's what you're worth. Or like there's an illusion that someone could be set, you know, you might have to see through the illusion that someone is speaking to you. And for many of you, you're definitely talking to a fool who is speaking. Your opportunity is to see that you're speaking to a fool, or you're trying to convince a fool of something. Now, for others of you, this is more about you entering into a new spiritual phase, and it doesn't have to do with a nasty one-to-one situation, but whenever you see the third house of communication and interaction, neighbors, siblings, loved ones, you know, it could have to do with that. Now, when it comes to your advice, you have the Ace of Wands, the King of Pentacles, and the Seven of Cups here. So I see there being a difficult choice that you do have to make. You know, the Spirit is advising you to make a very difficult emotional decision at this time from the 15th to the 30th, having to do with a new inspirational beginning in the physical world here. Okay, the King of Pentacles is someone who's great at business, or it could have to do with your money. There's a new way that you're going to be making money. Could have to do with your own ability to speak here. You know, the Ace of Wands is all about excitement here. And so make sure you follow your excitement. You know what I mean? Like, if your excitement is telling you that, like, I need to say something, like the most exciting thing for me to do is to have this conversation about the lack of balance at my workplace, with my loved one, whatever, then that's what you need to do, because it will lead to an upgrade, I feel. I feel like there could be something about someone's emotions towards you could be gaslighting or abusive. With the seven, with all this illusion energy, you waking up out of an illusion, you know, with the Seven of Cups being here, there could be, like, for many of you with Virgo, Gemini in the third house, that's a very, like, Mercury is it's like level 99 speak. It's like you can speak your way into anything. It's impossible to tell when Gemini is lying. And I do feel like for some of you, Spirit is actually advising you to have a talk with someone to get them to reveal something that you know they've been hiding. This can be, you know, I'm having a hard time coming up with an example of it, but I just feel like there's something you need to get to the bottom of in a conversation with someone. For many of you, it will be too late for that, and the damage is already done, and you just need to get up and move, you know what I mean? Because the Eight of Wands just has to do with travel, and the Fool does have to do with, like, this person just is like packing up this little sack and that's all they have. So with the opportunity being the Eight of Wands, travel, and the Fool, like with this guy taking very little with you on their journey. For some of you, there's going to be a nasty ending here, or just, even if it's not nasty, it's something you no longer can put up with, and you're going to have to move. You're going to have to think different. You're going to have to speak different. You're going to have, so there's a lot of different potentials. I'm just trying to hit what my intuition is telling me for all the Leos out there at this time. But I do feel like, once again, before we start clarifying, I feel like for many of you, there's someone that you may interact with on the daily, third house, a neighbor, a coworker, a sibling, a loved one, someone who, like, says all the right things to you, but you just know it's BS. You know what I mean? Like, I treat you fairly, and then they don't. Or something like that. You know what I'm saying, Leo? That's what I really get here. So let's start clarifying this reading. This could be someone being unfairly critical of you to better their own best interest, and they're saying it's out of fairness when it's really not. You know what I mean? For some of you, could be randomly for some of you, there could be a career coming to an end for you. But if that's the case here, I feel like there's so many opportunities just right in front of your face. And it's like, if you're having, for the select few of you that are having a career ending right now and you're worried about it, it's like this is the hustler energy of like Gemini, third house, and Virgo. Don't be looking on, what do they call it, LinkedIn for the opportunity. You might just need to go out into your neighborhood. I'm serious here. Whatever happened to that? Oh, Uber Eats. All right, let's clarify what the Ten of Swords in reverse is here in your overall general energy. For some of you, this is going to be a job letting go of a relationship. Something is letting go bye-bye. The Ten of Swords in reverse is clarified by the Four of Swords, the King of Pentacles, the High Priestess, and the Knight of Wands. For many of you, this will have to do with this will have to do with a financial situation. The King of Pentacles is in your opportunity, and this has to do with your intuition here as well. And, you know, it's an interesting energy where something's coming to an end with your money. It may lead to healing and a new adventure for you. The Knight of Wands has to do with being all over the place. The Four of Swords has to do with healing on the mental level. So, yeah, this could have to do with an unfairness in the physical realm, you know what I mean, in some sort of way. This could also have to do with an ending that your intuition is guiding you towards, or something that your intuition has been telling you about, but you ignored, and now it's just going to be a blow up in your face. Let's clarify where the World is here. Definitely closing out a cycle with the World and the Fool. You have so many major arcana cards in this reading, so it's definitely a very spiritual time for you. So maybe write it down as well. When it comes to Gemini, the third house in Virgo, that is like exact, precise communication. You might have to journal about your feelings right now. It might be like really beneficial for you. All right, yeah. The World is clarified, first of all, by the Two of Swords here, which is all about being in denial or a no. There could be some phase of your life that is simply no longer going to work for you anymore. It could have to do with collaboration on a one-to-one relationship, kind of like the third house energy, like I sensed. The Sword of Truth, the Knight of Pentacles, and the Judgment card here. There's definitely like a new, better, more solid phase coming in for you, but it might be something that you're very resistant to at first, but then it's like once you get going, it's not that bad, is what I genuinely feel here for you. Could have to do with your stability, like you're stuck without, like once, okay, this way of money's coming to an end, what am I going to do now? This communication with my sister is over, what do I do now? You know what I mean? Like something like that. Ace of Wands. I feel like you're actually excited about it though, if you're being honest with yourself. Like whatever's coming to an end, it's clarified by all this energy of like it bringing you peace. So if something leaves your life or if something comes to an end and it brings you peace, then you didn't really lose anything. You know what I mean? Let's clarify why the Eight of Wands is in your opportunity. The Eight of Wands is clarified by the Six of Pentacles here, which is in your overall general energy right next to the Ten of Swords in reverse. So there's something you got to talk about to bring balance into your life. For some of you, there's going to be a conversation that, you know, something you don't give, you know, something about giving and receiving here. For some of you, though, your opportunity is to speak and to give your gift to the world, which is usually the hardest thing that you can do. You know what I mean? Like to give your gift to the world of when it comes to communication, even if it's something that you write, something that you make with your hands. Like, I feel like there's something that you have to say in order to bring balance to the realm, to the physical realm at this time. This could be a new business deal that you quickly do that's a win-win scenario. For many of you, there's going to be a quick opportunity in order for you to create a win-win scenario as a result of something else falling apart. So your opportunity can bounce back very quickly. This is something that if a job opportunity comes to an end, then you can bounce back very quickly and create a new win-win scenario. But for many of you, this is because there's all these major arcana cards. I feel like this is more of a spiritual level where you have an opportunity to start giving your gift to the world, which may not be what you want it to be. For example, many of you know at this point, the gift that I have to give to the world is the gift of provocation. I provoke people with my words. Go to Las Vegas now! You remember that reading? Yeah. And that's not always fun. But you know what happens when I do readings and I don't give my gift? It's just no one cares about it. It's not real. So I feel like there's something real that you can give here. You may have to talk about how something is really out of balance with someone. Like I said, you also have the Ace of Pentacles in reverse flying out of the deck as well, which is interesting to me. Let's clarify what the Fool is your challenge. For many of you, I just feel like you're dealing, you know, hold on. There's just... Three of Swords. Queen of Wands. The Sun. For some of you, you're going to be dealing... It's going to be obvious that you're dealing with a damaged individual that is putting up a front that is blocking authentic communication. And that's why it's almost like there's something about you sorting through the illusion of what someone is saying, seeing through the front, and really making a judgment based on that, or talking to them through that, if it's something that's still going on. I feel a few things. The first thing that's coming to my mind, Leo, is that whoever there's a relationship coming to an end for you, or it's going to be a challenge for you to deal with a fool who is completely in their ego, and it's a front. The Queen of Wands to the Three of Swords is someone who can project themselves as a tough guy or a tough girl because they are hurt. You know what I mean? Because they are hurt. Like, I'm so authentic, I'm a thug, but it's really because I'm covering a hurt part of myself. And that's the person that you're feeling with. If there's someone who's trying to like always be right with you, or someone who acts like they don't care, they really do care. That could be someone, you're dealing with someone who has an inner child issue of acting like they don't care, but they actually do care. You know, the other thing though, Leo, if that's not the case, or even in conjunction with that for some of you, is that there may be an authenticity check here for you. That the Fool in your challenge is that you need to take a new step in order to bring clarity to your true self. The Queen of Wands, you know, in a positive way, it can be negative or positive. They don't care what people think about them. It can be fake front, or it can be genuine. And I feel like for you, there's some sort of, with the Ace of Wands being in your advice, there's a new passionate beginning here that could be a result of your pain. You know, I learned something. I don't like to be treated like that. I don't like this career anymore. I need fairness. I need balance. And there could be some sort of new authentic action that you take that is going to bring clarity to your wound. Or there could be something that you do to heal your authenticity or your inauthenticity with the Sun and the Three of Swords. It's like clarity about pain. So yeah, take it as it resonates. Let's clarify as well why, clarify what the Hanged Man is here. Which has to do with like a temporary moment of enlightenment, a complete shift, but someone that's not resisting it. They're just chilling. They're hanging. Let's see. Wow. The Hanged Man is clarified by the Queen of Swords and the Hermit card here, right off the bat. So there's definitely something that this can be a merging of the logical mind with the spiritual mind. The Hermit is Virgo energy. Gemini could also be related to, or the Queen of Swords can also be related to Gemini energy. There could be something, I feel for many of you here, for many of you, there's someone, once again, that you're going to surrender. You're going to walk away from a relationship because someone is shut down or they're in their ego. The Fool in your challenge, this is representing the person who could be using mental strategies that you just actually catch them doing it, and you just simply can't. Maybe you didn't realize it before and now you do. Because the thing about the Hanged Man is it's almost like catching someone in the act. Like this person is caught red-handed. So I feel like for many of you, you have caught someone red-handed where there's no balance. Someone's true intentions have been revealed to you. And so it's like you're going to have to deal with that reality. Like they're caught red-handed. You could catch someone in a lie. Once again, with Gemini, third house Virgo, that can be like a very mercurial person who's very hard to tell when they're lying or they're just doing something to manipulate you. With the Hanged Man here as well, though, there could be like a real deep reflection on what has happened from the 15th to the 30th on a spiritual level, and integrating it into your conscious mind for some of you. But it's all Mercury energy still, which is really interesting to me. Let's get some advice for you. Let's clarify that Seven of Cups. Why is the Seven of Cups here for you and your advice? Seven of Cups is clarified by the Wheel of Fortune and the Five of Cups here. Wow. So for many of you here, there could be an illusion that someone is really sad and hurt. You know, there could be an opportunity here for you to realize that there's someone around you who doesn't like to see you shine, or they can't deal with you being their equal, is what I really feel. You know, like I said, sibling, neighbor, coworker, loved one. There could be something about, I'm getting now, it's like a different thing I didn't really get before, of someone who doesn't know how to emotionally handle the attention that you get. And now this is not going to be for all of you. You know what I mean? And for many of you here, if it's not to do with that, then your destiny is calling you. You know, your destiny is calling you here in your advice, but it may require you to confront something that, you know, this is deep emotional change. The Five of Cups deals with the suit of water, which is emotional energy and psychic energy, spiritual energy. But the number 5 has to do with change. And change is not always easy to the human animal who is just programmed to like get base shelter and like be in a group on a primal level. And the Wheel of Fortune has to do with your destiny or a major opportunity. So I feel like this is your spirit's advising you to change your emotions at this time. And this could have to do with you moving towards your true destiny instead of like being in something that just gets you by, or it could have to do with someone that there's an opportunity to catch that someone could be mad at you, or they could be trying to play ego games with you in a communicative way, but it's really because they're sad in some sort of way. It's their crap, it's not yours, Leo. That's really what I feel like someone's crap is they're trying to spin it and make it about you. Because what do we know about Gemini, 3rd house Virgo? Mercury, I could say anything and you can believe it. I can spin anything, I could be critical, blah, blah, blah. So I feel like for many of you with that storyline, there's something here about that someone has been spinning something about you your whole life. Trying to make you feel bad, trying to make you guilty, trying to make you think this about yourself, think that about yourself. And I feel like it's time to see through the person's front and maybe call them out on it. Like, hey, you know happy people don't treat people like this, right? And like see what they say. Well, you didn't even know about what happiness is. You know what I mean? So it's just a little, or let's just clarify the Ace of Wands is the last thing. Why is the Ace of Wands here for you, Leo, in your advice? The Ace of Wands in your advice is clarified by the Queen of Cups, the Four of Cups, and the Two of Pentacles. Wow. For some of you, it's going to be... You may actually, in this advice, first of all right, how do I want to put this? For some of you, there's definitely... Your highest excitement is going to be to remove unconditional love from someone that doesn't deserve it, or someone that expects unconditional love no matter how they expect unconditional love from you no matter how they treat you, which is not true love. You know what I mean? So I feel like your highest excitement may be to withdraw your love from someone, is what I really feel, for those of you dealing with the interpersonal conflict. Then you have the Two of Pentacles, which could have to do with a change in work, a change to your, especially with that Fool energy, like the person just having a little pack on their back and that's all they got. They're taking very little to them with their new journey. For some of you, there's actually going to be an opportunity. Your highest excitement is going to say, I don't care if this doesn't work out. Change needs to happen. And you have the King of Pentacles and the Ace of Wands. For some of you, your highest excitement will be to enter into emotional uncertainty and to say, even if this doesn't work out, I'm still going to love myself unconditionally. I'm going to let the chips fall where they may on this one. I'm going to say what I need to say. I'm going to do this new thing. And because I feel like it is a very spiritual time for you. So I really hope this reading has helped you, Leo. And with that being said, I hope you have a great rest of your April.